When Leo stood up for the beautiful poor student for the third time, he was photographed and the picture was posted on the confession wall. The comment section was full of people standing up for me. They scolded the poor student for being shameless and deliberately seducing. They also scolded Leo for not being able to tell right from wrong and being deceived by the green tea girl. Only I could see the seriousness and pity in Leo's eyes. After canceling the arranged marriage, I went abroad for further study. My friend couldn't understand it at all. Are you scared? Can't you deal with the green tea girl? I shook my head. It wasn't that I was scared. No one knew that this was my third rebirth. But it turned out that no matter how many times I tried, the ending was always the same. For someone who doesn't love you, even if they agree to the arranged marriage, they will only regard it as a shackle. So, with mountains high and waters far, I wish Leo his freedom. Less than an hour after that photo was posted, a long thread of comments piled up. The comment that was like the most was very intense. Celine, do you have any shame? Aren't you annoyed by pestering someone else's boyfriend every day? The girl in the photo was beautiful and charming, with red eyes. She was wearing a men's coat and was timidly hiding behind a person. And that person was my boyfriend. Leo. Leo had a fierce look in his eyes, showing an extremely protective posture. This was already the third time that he had been posted on the confession wall for standing up for Celine. The comment section was in a heated argument. Someone is causing trouble while drunk. Call the police. Call the security guards. What's the use of crying? She didn't go for the work-study program provided by the school, but had to work part-time in a hotel. When her colleagues were right beside her, she didn't ask for help but instead called Leo. We all know what she was thinking. The hotel is just a few steps away from the school and there are streetleted all the way. She still pretends to be pitiful and asks Leo to send her home every day. I've never seen someone so green tea. Leo is also at fault. He can't tell right from wrong and is so simply deceived by this green tea girl. I waited in the restaurant for a long time that day. I only received a text message. Lynn. Celine was scared and can't be left alone. I have to stay with her tonight and won't come to see you. This restaurant was a century-old establishment, and I had only managed to book a table a month in advance. In the evening, Celine posted on Xiaoganshu. In the photo, Celine was leaning against Leo and smiling happily. The background was the cinema that Leo and I often went to, watched a movie with my crush. He suggested it himself. The comments below were full of congratulations, sister. You're amazing. From my experience, he must have feelings for you. You're almost there. Right? Celine sent a shy emoji. Yeah. I looked at it for a long time and then called the restaurant. There's no need to reserve the table anymore. Yeah. Cancel it. Leo knew how hard it was to queue up for this restaurant. He also knew how long I had been preparing for today. But between the restaurant and the cinema, between Lynn and Celine, Leo chose the latter. The first time I met Celine was at the school anniversary party. As soon as the beautiful poor student stepped onto the stage, I subconsciously turned to look at Leo. Sure enough, Leo was also looking at Celine. His usually cold and sharp eyes softened and he stared intently. The girl on the stage was wearing a red dress, looking warm and flamboyant. The surrounding was noisy with bursts of exclamations and thunderous applause. The host had a clear voice and asked half-jokingly, Celine? When I first saw the program list, I thought this was a boy's name. After all, girls' names are usually more gentle. Celine smiled generously with a trace of pride in her eyes. Who says a girl can't be named Celine? Like the bamboo that keeps growing taller. I want to soar to the sky, just like this Celine. Such words caused another round of applause. Celine? So her name is Celine? I heard Leo beside me muttering to himself involuntarily. His gaze towards the stage was full of admiration and his eyes were fixed on her. During the interaction session, Celine smiled playfully and actually pointed at Leo. Then let's invite the lucky audience to come on stage and have a. The host unfolded the note and read out the content drawn. A one-armed Princess Carrie. Leo also stood up gracefully. His cheeks were slightly red and he quickly stepped onto the stage amidst the jeers of the people around. Leo was so focused that he forgot that I was still sitting beside him. Celine pretended to lose her balance and kissed Leo on the left cheek. She cast a look at me, with a provocative smile on her face. After that night, Celine became famous for being a green tea girl. My best friend was indignant. Why did she have to pick someone else's boyfriend? I think she did it on purpose. Who doesn't know that you and Leo are a famous perfect couple in the school? My best friend was right. In the eyes of others, Leo and I were well matched in social status and had been engaged since we were young. We were a perfect match. But no one knew that this was actually the third time I had met Leo in different lifetimes. In the first lifetime, not long after I got married to Leo, I died in a car accident before we could get to know each other well. In the second lifetime, I didn't want to be a puppet of the arranged marriage of our families, so I ran away from the wedding. In the third year of living incognito in a small town, I was kidnapped by robbers who demanded a ransom. The matter became so big that the robbers took me and hid in the mountains. I was beaten, insulted, and endured all kinds of humiliation. Later, it was Leo who saved me. He became a policeman and infiltrated alone, even losing one of his arms because of it. I recognized him at a glance but didn't dare to speak and just pretended to be mute. Being saved by the person I had run away from in the arranged marriage made me feel ashamed and embarrassed. But Leo treated me very well. To avoid the robbers, we hid in a cave. He gave me all the food he had, fed me water, and bandaged my wounds. He also gently told me not to be afraid and that someone would come to pick us up soon. The better he treated me, the more bitter I felt in my heart. So when the robbers caught up, I rushed forward and took a knife for him. Leo's face was filled with great surprise. His expression was complicated. He turned around and subdued the robber and calmly stopped my bleeding. Leo, can you promise me one thing? I spat out blood and felt that the vitality in my body was quickly fading away. You say, for the grace of saving my life. I will definitely do my best to fulfill it. I wanted to smile but couldn't lift the corners of my mouth. In the next life, I hope to meet you again and I hope you will give me another chance. I shouldn't have been so willful to run away from the wedding, making Leo suffer from ridicule. I also shouldn't have been so willful to go south, causing Leo to get injured while saving me. I hope to meet you again in the next life, to atone for my sins and to make up for my past mistakes. But now I understand that God likes to play tricks on people the most and is the most cold-hearted. In the second lifetime, in the second year after I ran away from the wedding, Leo officially announced his new girlfriend, who was Celine. After being reborn, I accepted the arranged marriage of my family. Leo also obeyed his family and agreed to the arranged marriage. But it turned out that my joyful reunion was just a mistake. When the real heroine Celine appeared, she still attracted all of Leo's attention. I was like a thief, stealing the love that belonged to her during the time when Celine wasn't around. And now that the real owner was back, I seemed so dark and unbearable. With her dance at the party, Celine stole the show. And it was from that day on that Leo, who had always been reluctant to participate in activities, appeared at various parties unusually. And every time Celine performed, 8 out of 10 times she would pick Leo. After so many times, it was inevitable that there would be rumors. Someone advised Leo to refuse. But Leo said that refusing would hurt the girl's feelings. Celine didn't care at all. Even if she was called a green tea girl to her face, she would still smile sweetly. The most excessive time was when the host egged them on to have a French kiss on the spot. The two on the stage, with the red dress and the black clothes matching, looked incredibly well matched. Yo Leo. I'm going back to the dormitory first. If Leo asks later, just tell him that I'm not feeling well and left first. Lynn. Yojo. That is. My best friend. Hesitated to speak. Only then did I realize that without realizing it, my nails had dug several blood marks on my arm. This was a bad habit I developed when I was anxious as a child. I raised my head in silence and happened to meet Leo's eyes. Leo gently put his arm around the girl's waist to steady her. When he met my gaze, Leo instinctively let go and frowned. He seemed to want to say something, but I had already turned around and left. When I walked out of the auditorium, I let out a sigh. I forcefully threw the bracelet on my wrist into the lake, This was a gift that Leo gave me when he first officially announced our relationship on WeChat Moments. I cherished it very much and wore it every day. It almost became my symbol. But just now, I also saw the same bracelet on Celine's wrist. This brand was expensive and luxurious. A price that a poor student couldn't afford. It was obvious who gave it to her just by thinking about it. Celine not only wanted Leo to choose her between me and her, but also wanted to take away the things that Leo had given me before. Perhaps, from the moment she appeared, I had already lost. The photo on the confession wall was suddenly deleted by force after hanging there for half a day. It was Leo who did it. When he called me, his tone was very cold. Did you deliberately ask someone to stir up trouble in the comments? How long had it been since I heard him speak to me so impatiently? No. Leo didn't believe me. Several of the accounts below are your friends. Did you or did you not ask them to do it? There were more than 500 comments. And only 2 were posted by my friends who couldn't stand it. Now Leo was pushing all the blame on me. I could hear the faint crying of the girl on the other end of the line, accompanied by Leo's soft consolation. He was so gentle with Celine. But when he turned back to me, he was aggressive. Let's forget about it this time. Don't do this again in the future. You're also a girl. Even if you're jealous, there's no need to be so vicious. Lynn, you disappointed me so much. You're nothing like the girl I first met. After hanging up the phone, I sat at the table in a daze. The girl he first met? What was Leo's impression of me at that time? At that time, the college entrance examination had just ended and Leo's family had moved from the south to the north for development. Our 2 families got together to discuss the engagement matters. The meaning of Leo's family was to let me and Leo apply to the same university to cultivate our relationship. We would get engaged after graduation and get married the next year. When there were only the 2 of us left in the private room. Lynn? Just by hearing the name, I can tell you're a boring person. This was the first sentence Leo said to me. He asked me, racing? Rock climbing? Skiing? What can you do? I shook my head. I'm not in good health. My family doesn't allow me to participate in these dangerous sports. Leo was handsome and smiled indifferently. Oh, I see. You young ladies like those refined things. Piano? Or painting? I could hear the sarcasm in Leo's tone. He lifted my chin and commented, you look quite cute, but unfortunately, I like wild girls. That night, my joyful reunion was met with Leo's contempt. I once made a lot of efforts because of Leo's words. I wore smoky makeup, wore sexy halter tops, and learned dynamic dance. I made a mess of myself just for that word wild. But it wasn't until I saw Celine that I understood what Leo meant by that word. The wild he mentioned turned out to be confident, flamboyant, warm, and bold. And I was gentle and liked to be quiet, which was exactly the way Leo disliked the most. I used to be complacent that I had spent 3 years making Leo treat me gently. But it turned out that someone could get his favor just by the first meeting. The more you try to silence people, the more rebellious they will become. The confession wall was deleted, but the news spread even more wildly on the school forum. Especially when someone caught Celine and Leo sharing an ice cream. Maybe it was out of a sense of justice. Or maybe it was to fan the flames. In the end, Celine was pushed to the center of the storm and became the mistress that everyone despised. When she came to me with red eyes, she couldn't control her emotions and shouted, "Look how embarrassed I am now. And how glorious you are. Anyone who sees me can scold me. Classmates stand up for you. Friends speak out for you. And the whole world is on your side. Do I have to be infamous for you to be satisfied?" I remained silent for a long time in the face of such accusations. It seems that I have won a great victory in this public opinion war. But in fact, I looked at Celine and said softly, even if the whole world supports and protects me, Leo is on your side, right? The next day, all the related posts on the school forum were deleted. Leo posted a status, taking all the blame for the public opinion on himself. Celine was portrayed as a poor student who was tough and self-reliant. Leo admired her, so he was willing to offer a helping hand. He even tried to clear her of the stigma of being a mistress. Leo said that he had already broken up with me privately and was currently single. As soon as this statement came out, The public opinion instantly reversed. Leo found me and his tone was a bit unnatural. It's just a temporary solution. A fake breakup. When the public opinion subsides, we can get back together. Otherwise, there's no way. I interrupted him. There's no way to explain sharing an ice cream. No way to explain racing together in couple outfits. Right? Leo suddenly raised his head. And his tone turned cold. How do you know? You secretly followed me. I didn't say anything. There was no need to follow him. Leo's group of friends never liked me and always excluded me. So when Celine appeared, there were always people who would take the initiative to tell me about it and make fun of me. My best friend was so angry that she was shaking when she heard about it. After only knowing each other for a few days, he took her to go racing? And she even sat on Leo's most precious motorcycle. As she spoke, my best friend's eyes turned red. And her voice choked up. You were scolded severely just for wanting to touch that motorcycle a little bit back then. How could he let another woman sit on it so easily now? I thought back to that motorcycle. It had a smooth design and was very expensive, just as arrogant and sharp as its owner. At that time, I had been dating Leo for a year. When he went racing, I would sit aside and read quietly. When he went skiing, I would prepare hot tea to moisten his throat. Leo went from being disdainful at first to acquiescing and indulging in the end. Later, he would even take the initiative to invite me to watch a play or go to a bookstore. You actually have a pretty good temper for a young lady. Leo's tone was hard to read. I knew he wasn't really complimenting me. So I just smiled gently. Once, hadn't so one say. While he was racing, he suddenly asked me, dare to sit on it? I shook my head. My health wasn't good. And my family never allowed me to participate in such strenuous exercise. Leo sneered, coward. At most. I'll ride slowly. I promise I won't scare you. Just then, Leo's friends happened to come over. When they saw Leo leaning against the car and me standing there quietly beside him, they started winking and laughing. Leo is going to take his wife for a ride. He even brought out this car. You're really generous. Man. Someone beside them chimed in, this car is your baby. You never use it except in top-level competitions. We're not even allowed to try it usually. Sure enough. It's different when you have a wife. Before, Leo treated his car like his wife. Now that his real wife is here. Of course his wife is more important now. I blushed from all the teasing. I didn't know that this car was so important to Leo. I was just about to refuse. But first, I heard Leo's cold tone. Who said I'm taking her? She's a delicate young lady. She'll be so scared that her legs will go weak the moment she sits on it. My car isn't for just anyone to touch. The few people were a bit embarrassed by Leo's merciless words. They made a few jokes and quickly left. You. After everyone left, Leo stopped me as if he wanted to say something. But I waited for a long time. And there was no follow-up. I sighed, don't worry. Although I have an engagement with you, I'm not an unreasonable person. I won't threaten you in the name of your girlfriend. If you don't want me to, I won't have any contact with this car. Leo stared at me for a while before looking away. And his tone was even colder than before. Good to know. It turned out that Leo wasn't that cold to everyone. The racing incident was just the beginning. During the break, Leo's friends pulled me into a group chat and eagerly reported, it was my birthday last week. Leo said he would bring a female companion. I thought it would be you. But it was Celine. She even gave a gift like a legitimate girlfriend. Lynn let out a low sigh. What's going on with you? How can you be bullied like this by a poor student? Not only that. I met the two of them while shopping yesterday. Anand made some flirtatious remarks to Celine. Leo's face turned so dark that he almost beat the guy to death. TSK. He looked like his wife had been harassed. However, I think Celine is quite nice. She's beautiful. Has a great figure. Can be coquetteous and tough. She goes bungee jumping and rock climbing with Leo without missing a beat. Their personalities really match. You see, he's always taking Celine around recently and hasn't taken Lynn, his legitimate girlfriend, out for a long time. After hundreds of messages scrolled by, everyone seemed to realize that I hadn't said anything. They pretended to comfort me, of course. Lynn. We're still on your side. After all, everything should follow the order of first come, first served. That's right. You have an engagement with Leo since childhood. And your families are well matched. How long can that poor student be proud with her the tricks of a green tea bitch? Leo is just being blinded by love. He'll come to his senses in a few days. There wasn't much sincerity in these words of comfort. I knew they were waiting to see me make a fool of myself. Waiting for me to break down and go crazy. They were waiting for me to teach that green tea a lesson and to see me have a big fight with Celine. But this time they were all wrong. I sent a message to Leo. With only 3 short words, let's break up. After class, I returned to the dormitory. There was a thermal box on my desk. When I opened it, the aroma wafted out. My roommates looked at the thermal box in front of me with envy in their voices. Leo had someone bring this at noon. He said it would be just right for you to drink when you got back from class. Leo is so good to you. Even though he's not at school, he still remembers to send you something. Yeah. He's much better than my boyfriend. The last time I asked him to bring me milk tea, he actually refused because it was too far away. There were rumors all over the campus about the ambiguous between Celine and Leo. Some people even came over specifically to remind me to be careful not to be stolen from. But my roommates didn't care. Especially when they saw the thermal box in front of me at this moment. They were even more dismissive. Lynn. Have more confidence in yourself. In terms of family background and looks, you're outstanding in every way. Even Leo, who was so cold and irritable at the beginning, is now tamed by you like a dog. Don't worry. That little green tea, Celine won't be able to succeed. No one believed that I would lose to a poor student. Everyone was certain that I would win a great victory. But that breakup text message was really sent out, and I really decided to give up. I used to naively think that being reborn was a gift from God. But it turned out that no matter how many times I tried, the ending was the same. The person who doesn't love you will only regard the arranged marriage as a shackle. Even if they agree to it. Well then. With mountains high and waters far, I wish Leo his freedom. Until the evening. Leo didn't reply to my message. Someone knocked on the door and came in, saying that someone downstairs was looking for me. I had a hunch in my heart. When I went downstairs, I sure enough saw a familiar figure. As soon as Leo saw me, he walked over quickly. Why did you come out like this? You're not in good health. You can't catch a cold at night. Leo took off his coat and wanted to put it on me. But I, who had always been obedient, didn't take it this time. As I stepped back, Leo's coat fell to the ground. His face froze for a moment. But he quickly acted as if nothing had happened. By the way, I specially made that soup for you. You saw it, right? It's good for your health. If you like it, I'll send it to you again tomorrow. Leo. I interrupted him and said calmly, didn't you see the message I sent you? Leo paused for a moment but didn't answer. Instead, he just said to himself, I've been very busy these days and haven't been able to accompany you. But I'll be free later. You've always wanted to go to that restaurant, right? I'll go with you. We can also go on a trip later. Go to the beach. I'll accompany you to pick up seashells. Okay. I didn't understand how Leo could say these things without blushing. No. I took a step back, stared at Leo, and said word by word, these are things that couples do. We've already broken up. As soon as the words fell, the air around us seemed to freeze. Leo's face lost its smile, and the moonlight cast shadows on his face through the leaves. He had no expression on his face. His tone was calm, but it was rather terrifying. Lynn. I didn't agree. Take those words back. But I didn't move. I still said the same thing, we've already broken up. Leo punched the tree beside him. What on earth are you making a fuss about? He strode forward and grabbed my wrist with such force that it hurt. I can pretend I didn't hear what you said before. Think carefully before you speak in the future. I was trapped between his arms. As I struggled, my wrist hurt from being pulled. I couldn't help but cry out in pain. Leo relaxed his grip a bit and massaged the red mark on my wrist. His tone calmed down. Is it because of the rumors on campus? Or did my friend say something bad again? Leo seemed to have figured it out and started to be at ease. Or is it because of Celine? She comes from a poor family and has been doing all kinds of part-time jobs. I didn't expect to see her at the ski resort. She even has excellent skiing skills. When we met on the street that day, she was harassed, and of course I had to step in. I would help any girl in that situation. I knew I couldn't break free by force. So I stopped struggling and said softly, "Please let me go first." Sure enough, being submissive was more effective than being tough. Leo released his arms that had trapped me. I took a deep breath. I'm not throwing a tantrum. You don't need to explain these things to me. I'm not being impulsive. I've thought about it for a long time. We're really not suitable for each other. Neither of us spoke. And the air was eerily quiet. I let out a sigh and continued, moreover, our relationship was originally a combination of interests. When we first met, you didn't like me either. We've been entangled for 3 years. And it's already a last resort. So, let's cancel the arranged marriage and break up. It'll be better for both of us. It was hard to describe Leo's expression at this moment. He stared at me for a long time, as if he had sensed the firmness in my tone. Suddenly, a sneer rang out. Leo raised his chin. And all the furious questioning from just now seemed to disappear completely. He was still in control of the situation. Looking down from above, break up? The word being dumped doesn't exist in my Leo's dictionary. If we cancel the arranged marriage, you remember, it's the Leo family that doesn't want you. Because you're overbearing, petty, babadadalmosai, and narrow-minded. Leo's gaze seemed to want to devour me. And his tone was extremely vicious, moreover. For a woman that Leo, don't want. I'd like to see who in the circle dares to take her. Your Lynn family wants to expand into the northern market, right? Without the path of this arranged marriage, I'm afraid you'll have to pay an even more astonishing price. After saying these words, it was obvious that Leo had completely gained the upper hand. He lifted my chin, with a mischievous smile. As if you didn't care, Lynn. I can pretend that what you said today never happened. You're still my girlfriend. And I'll still marry you after graduation. I'll still help the Lynn family. As far as I know, the Lynn family has put a lot of effort into you. Right? Your father still has several illegitimate daughters outside. Do you want to be a stable and wealthy Mrs. of the Leo family? Or be in a band and child resented by the Lynn family? You can choose for yourself. I looked at Leo quietly. After we've been in a relationship for 3 years, won't you even leave me the last bit of dignity? Leo's expression froze for a moment. And he almost turned his head in a flustered manner. He covered my eyes. Lynn, don't look at me with that kind of gaze. Leo's voice was muffled. And his throat was hoarse. I said, let's just forget about this. Can we go back to the way we were before? The arranged marriage between the two families won't change. And I'm still your boyfriend. Of course. It's not okay. I was very puzzled. Why was Leo so certain that I would give in? Do you still remember what you said when we first met? What's the point of putting on such an act now? You disliked my poor health. And you disliked my quiet and boring personality. In your eyes, being obedient is a derogatory term. You like excitement and wild personalities. You want someone to accompany you in racing, skiing, and doing all kinds of exciting sports with you. And I'm the one who least meets the requirements. The companionship off the field can't compare to the mutual understanding on the field. The racetrack is very noisy. And the ski resort is also very cold. Reading a book there is the most unsuitable choice. Leo looked up. And his face was rarely stunned. I was also looking at him. And my tone was very soft. I don't want to read a book by the side. And I don't want to accompany you anymore either. Leo and I were at a standstill for a long time. He didn't agree to cancel the arranged marriage even until we left. We no longer had classes together. Nor did we have meals together. When Leo played basketball, I no longer wiped his sweat or handed him water. When I was drawing in the classroom, Leo's figure no longer appeared beside me. Some busboydess couldn't help but ask Leo if he had quarreled with me. Leo didn't even raise his head, just let out a cold sneer. Since he didn't respond, naturally, someone else would come to ask me. I smiled gently. Yeah. We broke up. So you really broke up? I thought. Huh? You broke up? Soon, let out a low sigh. This news spread throughout the entire campus. High-ranking posts appeared on the forum, and the title of the hottest post was, "I hate this world where green tea girls are in power. They've ruined another one of my favorite couples again." There were pictures posted profusely in it. There were pictures of Leo giving a Princess Carrie on the stage, and pictures of Celine deliberately kissing his cheek. The comments below were filled with indignation, full of pity and heartache for me. Leo probably didn't expect that I would directly say the words of breaking up. He sent me a message with just a few short words, "Lynn, you have a heartless enough." I soon knew why Leo sent this message. Because he would do something even more ruthless than me. Leo directly posted a message on his moments, "From now on, anyone who dares to date Lynn is going against me." This short sentence triggered countless intense speculations. Some people said that Leo and I just had a quarrel, and we would get back together once the anger subsided. Others said that Leo hated me and wouldn't let me go even after we broke up. No matter what everyone guessed. But obviously, this post on Moments had a great effect. Leo had a good family background, many friends, and a hot temper. Few people dared to offend him. After that day, no boy dared to get within 5 meters of me. Especially after a boy accidentally bumped into me and was severely taught a lesson by Leo. The boys didn't even dare to talk to me anymore. Leo's friends made a big fuss in the group. "Lynn, come on. It's okay to have a little quarrel. But don't overdo it by playing hard to get. Don't make things ugly for everyone. That little green tea girl Celine makes me sick. Come back quickly. Oh yeah. Remember to bring more beef jerky." It turned out that the last sentence was the key point. I like a quiet life. And in my free time, I would study cooking. In order to integrate into Leo's circle of friends back then, I flattered them a lot. I would always prepare for a long time in advance, getting so tired that my back ached, just for a word of approval. But now, I'm not that stupid anymore. Buy it yourself if you want to eat it. I've already broken up with Leo. Don't contact me in the future. After saying that, without waiting for the other party to reply, I directly blocked him. In the afternoon, I suddenly received a takeout. It was a bunch of particularly beautiful and fresh yellow roses. I called the number according to the sender's information, and it turned out to be Leo. The moment I heard his voice, I wanted to hang up the phone. But looking at the roses in my arms, I pursed my lips. "Did you send these flowers?" Leo must be smoking. I heard the sound of a lighter. After a while, his voice came over, as if he didn't care at all. "What kind of flowers? Are they pretty?" I didn't know what game Leo was playing this time. I replied calmly, "They're not pretty. Don't send them anymore. Even if I throw them away, it will cause trouble for others." There was a moment of silence on the other end, and then Leo's voice rang out, "Lynn, you don't really think I sent you those flowers, do you?" His tone was extremely exaggerated, as if he had heard a really funny joke. "I just wrote the wrong address. You don't think I still have feelings for you after we broke up, do you?" I nodded in understanding. They were meant for Celine, right? She should like them. I wish you two happiness and a long and happy marriage. I don't know how my words irritated Leo again. The air of nonchalance he had been feigning disappeared, and his tone was a bit angry and embarrassed. "Is this interesting? Hiding at home and avoiding people every day, and saying such mean things to provoke me. Lynn, you really know how to make me angry." I didn't understand how wishing him and Celine happiness was mean. Leo took a few deep breaths, and his tone calmed down. "I don't believe you can hide at home for the rest of your life. I'll settle the score with you on graduation day." After saying that, Leo hung up the phone. I pressed my lips together, a bit stunned. But Leo was wrong. I had already booked my plane ticket. I wasn't going to attend the graduation ceremony, and he wouldn't be able to get back at me in person. As soon as the plane landed, I saw the person who came to pick us up. My mother had already bought a house abroad, and it had been cleaned up. After I woke up from my nap, I received a message from my best friend. She patted her chest and promised, "Lynn, don't worry. On graduation day, I'll pick up your graduation certificate for you." I smiled and said thank you again. There were still a few months before the foreign university started. During this time, I decided to explore the surroundings and see what parks and nice restaurants were nearby. When I was bored and scrolling through Xiaoganshu, I came across another post by Celine. The accompanying picture was a large bouquet of red roses. The title of the post was filled with a sense of shyness, given by my crush. What does this mean? The comment section exploded. And people were joking with her. Girl? In your city? Do you call your partner crush? What does it mean? It means he likes you. If this isn't a sign of liking, I'll stand on my head and wash my hair. No way. No way. There are already roses. And you're still not together. This guy is so reserved. Celine replied quickly, we're not together yet. But I heard he's going to confess to me at the graduation ceremony. The comment section was filled with comments about how romantic it was. Celine sent a shy emoji. I'll post one last post on graduation day. And then the crush series will end. Happy and celebrating. You have to admit that big data is really powerful. I don't have Celine's contact information. But every post she makes gets pushed to me. Before, when I saw them, I would feel stuffy in my chest. Sad. And uneasy. But now, I don't feel the slightest bit of emotion. Graduation ceremony? A public confession? Celine's crush series is completely over. I have also completely let go of the feelings from those 3 years. Soon, let out a low sigh. It was graduation day. My best friend live streamed for me and showed the graduation certificate and degree certificate she picked up on my behalf. Time really flies. In the blink of an eye, we've graduated from university. After chatting with my best friend for a few words, I heard the commotion behind her. The camera turned, and I saw Leo's stiff face. His hair was swept up, revealing his handsome eyebrows and eyes. It seemed that he had dressed up carefully. But for some reason, he looked restless, constantly looking around as if he was searching for something. I heard someone beside him urging, Leo. It's time. It's time to confess. Not far from him, Celine was wearing a dress and had a delicate makeup on. She looked towards Leo from time to time, with a shy look in her eyes. My best friend and I watched the drama together. I heard Leo is going to confess to Celine. He ordered 999 roses yesterday. It's going to be on the playground. But it's strange. Usually, for confessions, people use red roses. But Leo bought all yellow roses instead. I thought of the flowers that were delivered to the wrong address that afternoon and understood, maybe Celine likes them. So he can go against the worldly rules and just give her what she likes. My best friend sighed. I don't understand the taste of you rich people. In my opinion, it would be better to buy 999 boxes of chocolates. It represents love and isn't a waste. After looking at the certificates, I turned off the live stream. I didn't want to have anything to do with Leo anymore. And I didn't want to see Celine looking proud either. How they confessed and how intimate and romantic they were. It had nothing to do with me anymore. But even though I didn't want to pay attention, I would always find out for other reasons. After blocking Celine's main account, Big Data pushed her secondary account to me. Sure enough, just as she said, Leo confessed to her with 999 roses at the graduation ceremony. In the photo, the two of them were huddled together, looking very intimate. But Celine was holding the yellow roses. Although she tried to raise the corners of her mouth, her smile looked forced. And Leo had no expression on his face and was looking at the school gate, seemingly lost in thought. That secondary account didn't update very often. Probably once a week. At first, the tone was excited and happy. Went to the aquarium with my boyfriend and saw the cute baby jellyfish. Went to a popular online restaurant with my boyfriend today. The food was really good. Sent my boyfriend a loving late-night snack. I'll also make him loving breakfasts in the future. Later, the updates became more and more mean and angry. Was called a mistress by that bitch's friend again today. So funny. The one who isn't loved is the mistress. I just came a bit late. My boyfriend has been more and more perfunctory with me recently. No wonder he was charmed by that slut outside. If I catch her, she won't get away with it. Arg. I want to kill someone. Why does he still call that bitch's name when he's drunk? We're clearly together now. So why does he still think of someone else? No matter what, he's still mine now. There's no way he can go abroad to find that bitch. So funny. Since I could snatch him away back then, I can keep him now. The updates became slower and slower later. And each post showed a kind of hysteria. And just a week ago, Celine posted her last post. It was very calm. With only a short line of words, "We broke up." He brought it up, and I agreed. The day I returned to China was a rainy day. My father was seriously ill and wanted to see me one last time. I agreed. After this meeting, the father-daughter relationship in this life would come to an end. I didn't expect to see Leo outside the hospital room. He had lost weight. Although he was still handsome, there was a trace of decadence between his eyebrows. He looked at me, hesitated, and then stepped forward and asked me, Lynn, long time no see. Can we talk?" Standing on the balcony of the hospital, I looked at the raindrops outside the window. "Just say what you want to say directly." Leo was silent for a long time before his voice trembled. "You know who those 999 yellow roses at the graduation ceremony were for? The language of yellow roses is an apology. Lynn. The person I was waiting for that day was always you." I turned to look at Leo. Leo stood stiffly, stubbornly staring at me. "I don't know." I repeated. "I don't know. Leo. I'm not a god. I can't guess everything." Maybe I did guess that the yellow roses delivered by the takeout that afternoon were for me. So instead of towing them away immediately, I called. But Leo never knew how to speak properly. He couldn't let go of his pride and wouldn't bow his head. He always used hurtful words to hide his true feelings. So he said they were for Celine. What reason did I have not to believe him? Leo's eyes suddenly turned red. 3 years. Lynn. We were together for 3 years. Why won't you give me a chance? Just because of Celine. You made a fuss with me, cancelled the arranged marriage, and went abroad. Is this what you call love for me? Lynn. Your love can't stand the test. You don't love me as much as you think you do. It turned out that when people were extremely angry, they really could laugh. You say I don't love you? You question my feelings? Then what about you? Do you love me? For 3 years. Someone like me who hates extreme sports accompanied you for a whole 3 years. The ski resort is very cold, and the wind at the bungee jumping spot is also very strong. If there wasn't love, what would my efforts in these 3 years count for? You said the roses were for me. But since I didn't come, you still gave them to Celine. Leo, hadn't. Your love is very cheap. It can be divided into and always have a backup. Leo stood there for a long time, as if he had been struck by lightning. I thought you always came to me because you were threatened by your family. Every time you showed up, you attracted everyone's attention. My friends seemed indifferent to you on the surface. But in fact, they chased after me to ask for your contact information. I was just uneasy. Why would someone like you fall in love with me? Love at first sight. That reason is too cheap. Tears fell from the corners of Leo's eyes. And he stared at me stubbornly. So I used Celine to test you. If you could tolerate her and still not leave me, then I could truly feel at ease in my heart. My heart ached. I had never thought that it was this reason. Leo didn't know about our past life and didn't believe in my feelings. So he tested me with such hurtful methods again and again, forcing me to give in and retreat. But people's hearts are made of flesh. I couldn't always guess Leo's thoughts. Let's just say you're right. I don't love you. I felt tired and didn't want to argue with Leo anymore. After I walked out for a long time, Leo's trembling voice came, "Can't we really start over?" I turned around and shook my head. Leo's face instantly fell. "You don't want my roses. And you don't want me either. If a few roses were supposed to offset countless past sorrows and grievances, then I'd rather not have them. I don't regret my past with Leo. This was my past, which made me who I am. But I need to look forward more. Once a rose is picked, it will wither. Once something hurtful is done, there will be scars. And I will plant my own roses that will never wither."